and our lack of, well, I would say for the lack of knowledge, what we would describe emotional intelligence would be.
Um, I would say it's being in control of your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Acknowledging your emotions, but being in control and making logical decisions instead of emotional ones.
Said the definition of emotional intelligence is being able to be in your driver's seat and knowing when and when to use the controls in the matter of what emotions come up when they come up, and learning how to regulate them versus allowing them and just going full speed and allowing you to overreact.
Right.
It's
Excuse me.
for for our own experience. I know I had to learn through my own experience about what emotional intelligence is, and knowing that I've had to learn how to, you know, figure out how to regulate my emotions when certain things and certain events happen in my life. And I came to find out that I was a lot more surprised at my own reactions to certain things once I started allowing myself to feel my emotions. Once I started to realize and recognize what emotions were coming up when certain things would happen, I allowed myself to feel and basically sit back and understand what and why that emotion came out. And if it was my emotion or if it was an emotion of others that was attaching to me that I was taking on upon myself. And when you find a way to basically differentiate the two, you find yourself balancing out yourself between, responding and reacting versus, just not really thinking of.
Yeah, because when when you make decisions, like let's say you go through something and it affects you emotionally or whatever, and you make a decision right then in the heat of the moment. It got you riled up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're unsettled. You're not thinking straight. You're not calm. You're angry or upset about whatever it is that's going on. You know what I'm saying? You make a rash decision right then. You know what I'm saying? It may cause you to miss like key things about the situation that you may have overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what that is, you may miss something because you're not thinking clear. You're not seeing everything. You just
You're letting your emotions take control
yeah,
versus you taking control. Like I know for once, before I started, learning how to set boundaries and regulate my own emotions and start to, do the inner work, I realized the things that I used to do that kept me in that type of loop where I was constantly, fighting tit for tat for others by, not allowing others to control how I should feel in that situation. And I only mean what I mean by that is if you're angry, I should be angry that you're angry at me because now you know it's like I'm taking on your emotions versus me allowing you to feel how you feel and not allowing you to disrupt how I feel about the situation. And
right. I've me myself, I've been in situations where I matched the energy that I was getting, and it wasn't necessarily a good thing because at the end of it, we were both just drained and out of it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of didn't either one of us display any emotional intelligence. We both just let it all out. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? And it's just caused
right, because you think about what
a
happens
catastrophe. Like
when you let your anger get the best of you. It's like people do the most craziest things when they're angry. And anger could get the best of you, and it could put you in a worse situation than you started. And if for lack of emotional intelligence or lack of just having self control, period, you don't realize that you didn't have a balance within yourself on how to calm yourself in a way where you know how you would act with how you're going to act. It's like you shouldn't allow your anger to just put you on the level that they're already on, like someone else is
Right.
on. It's like that anger could bring you down to their level, and you got to learn to know what your place is, and know where you stand, and stand your ground, because a lot of people know that saying that misery loves company. And
Facts.
if
And
I'm miserable and I want someone to feel miserable with me, I don't care how you feel. I'm going to see what I can do to make you bring you down on my level,
yeah, because I want you just as,
miserable as me.
yeah, like it's crazy. But misery definitely loves company, and
I
it's
want
just
you to feel
tragic.
how I feel for the lack of intelligence of my own part, because I lack my own accountability. So I want you to feel how I feel, because I don't want to feel it for me, because even though I know it's me doing this to myself, I don't care. I want you to feel it with me, and I need the company. So you have to realize, like, that type of mindset is dangerous to be around.
Right.
So, when you finally, start to listen to yourself and, you know, trust yourself and feel the emotions that come up, that's when you realize it's like, okay, I could be mad and I could react, but where can I take accountability in the situation where I can, realize, okay, now I'm learning. What do I need to learn from this situation? Because now I'm knowing that this is happening for a reason. The emotional intelligence to handle the situation properly, because when you lack that balance, it can cost a lot more than you expected.
Facts. It you won't be able to communicate how you feel properly. Like it affects your ability to communicate effectively. Like by letting your emotions like run wild and have control over you, so to speak, vice versus you having control over your emotions. You know what I'm saying? And then, but it doesn't mean like dismiss your emotions, because your emotions are valid. Like
And I have to say, when you go through certain things in your life, like trauma, it's hard to find out that, it comes to a point where you don't realize that the trauma that you went through affected how you communicate emotionally. And you have to come to a point in time where you can sit with yourself and learn the triggers that cause you to react certain ways, and learn to, kind of work on why those triggers happen. And it's up to you to do the inner work on how to manage that, because a lot of people may not understand how you communicate, emotionally. But if you work on yourself and you learn how to, you know, trust yourself, then
it'll you'll have better relationships with people. Any
yeah,
type of relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's
you'll be able to trust yourself more when you become more in tune with how you feel, because you'll trust yourself to know that your feelings matter and they're valid. So whenever it comes to your peace, you have to make sure that you are at peace with yourself and others as well. So when you come into contact with others, and if their peace is a little disrupted, you have to learn to know that your piece is your piece and theirs is theirs. So
and
it'll
by maintaining your peace, you should be able to diffuse that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like,
versus escalating and
yeah, and
going.
making matters worse than what they need to be.
Majority of the time, those who don't know, who lack they feed off of your energy in the first place. If they don't have it themselves, they want you to be on their level once again by pulling on you to argue with them, or
Yeah, because
because
people will try you.
yeah, and I know better. I don't argue with no one. There's no need for me to argue with you because you're gonna believe how you believe, and I'm gonna believe how I believe because that's just how, I'm not here to discredit what you do or how you know things. I'm here to experience and learn to know, and my experience is mine and yours is yours. You know,
Legitimate.
because once your mind is set on misunderstanding someone, then there's no need to try to convince anyone about what you should or shouldn't do. But at the same time, that comes with that balance of, you know,
Yeah,
with yourself.
and just speaking from a perspective of being in situations where I was lacking emotional intelligence. I wasn't in control of my emotions. I was just lashing out, and it didn't cause injuries,
Mm-hmm.
all types of shit, ruin relationships. No longer. I mean, maybe it was for a reason. You know what I'm saying, but no longer having a trust for certain people or certain things. You know what I'm saying? Just because I didn't process it in a logical way, I process it emotionally, and I just act it out instead of responding accordingly. And it
Yeah.
just
When you move it out of your emotions, it could trust and believe. I understand how that goes because I've lacked a lot of emotional intelligence in growing up, but it takes the lack of knowledge to gain the knowledge.
right.
Because you don't know better until you don't know, but you don't do better until you know better, and you know better, you do better. So when I realized that it's good that I was able to retract on my ways of how I used to react and how I react now, and how much growth it took for me to get here. And I'm grateful for the lessons that it took for me to get here. And at the same time,
Almost definitely.
it makes you, it lets you know that you should never beat yourself up for not knowing because you don't know, because you just have things to learn how to know. Life is all about learning and
Yeah,
growing
experience your
and
best teacher.
experiencing. So when you find out that when you go through the experience that you had to go through in order for you to evolve into the person that you're meant to be, it's good that you can see yourself more well off and well balanced when you learn from the things that you've been through, and that also comes with emotional intelligence. You gain the emotional intelligence by going through these experiences and seeing what emotionally reacting gets you versus not emotionally reacting. It's like now I can see the
Yeah,
difference between
because
my old actions and my actions that I do now.
you tend to, in my opinion, like you tend to win more when you control your emotions and respond to a situation accordingly rather than lash out emotionally. And you know what I'm saying? Like you tend to come out better.
Yeah, because a
Like
lot of
it'll
people,
benefit you.
that's the truth. Excuse me, but a lot of people have a problem with projecting. So majority of us are projecting how we want our lives to be. But when people tend to project their own thought process and their own way of thinking, they want you to feel how they feel because they lack the intelligence of knowing that how they feel is how they feel. It doesn't mean that it's a fact. It's just how they feel. It doesn't
All
mean that
right.
it's valid. But that's when they go and they want to make sure they want to go into a mode of trying to convince you or trying to do whatever it takes to get you to feel how they feel. And by you having that, you know, that balance and that emotional intelligence, once again, you see that that person is who they are and they're going through what they're going through. And like you say, you know how to diffuse the situation because that isn't your problem, that's their problem. and
Exactly.
they can come to you with their problem, and like people can come, like you could be for example, you could be working at a store and a lady just wants to be rude for no reason, and she's rude because she's got something up her butt and she wants you to feel that same way. And if someone's feeling pain and they don't want to, and they can't get rid of it, they want you to feel how they feel. They're like, oh my god, and that's what I'm saying. It's like if she coming in there and she's got attitude, are you gonna have the same attitude as her
Oh no.
to feel the same way as she, and then go home carrying that same energy? That's
See,
what. That's where that lack. That's where she lacks intelligence and you don't, because you know how to be happy because you choose to be happy versus someone else coming through to try to make you feel a certain way.
and because you said that, I want to say shout out to all my people who work in customer service.
Oh my god.
Cause listen, I've worked in customer service at fast food joints and all types.
Me too.
And listen, people will come in there and test you and try you and get on your last nerve.
Yes.
And for those of you that maintain,
your
composure,
and you don't react, you simply, do what is best.
Yeah, salute to y'all. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because that takes a lot of patience and emotional intelligence.
You're right about that. It does take a lot of patience, and I give them more power to you guys because I've been in there, and I people who don't know how, there's a lot of, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a lot of NPCs in this world, and their part is to play their part because they're programmed to be this person in your world, in your life, in your path. They're programmed to be in this path that you're on, to do what they do, to test you at all times. And I know, every corner I always look at myself like, am I being tested right now? So that's how I look at things now. Instead of trying to react to things the way I used to, I just kind of say, I know where I want to be and I know where I'm going to be. So I try to make sure I move in a way that would allow me to that path that I am already moving and already am on at this moment. So I try not to get off path by someone trying to come through and try to knock me off because of how they feel. Legit. Because of their emotions are out of balance and they want to come knock me down. And it's called emotions for a reason because it's constantly moving. We surrounding ourselves with multiple people. We can be feeling happy one moment and sad the next because maybe we're not aware that someone around us is projecting onto us constantly.
Because somebody will come in the room and you say somebody came in the room and sucked all the energy out the motherfucker.
Oh, the room shifts. And it's like instantly you can feel it.
It's like, man,
like
everything was cool until,
Yeah, and it's not even, and then you don't want to be the guy that's trying to be like, oh, people look at you like you're trying to be a hater, but if you don't know how to read the room and you don't feel that energy shift, or you don't know how to recognize that feeling that you feel, instead you're calling it for something that it ain't, you think that it could be you feeling that, but it's really the person that's bringing that energy in.
Right.
And you got to learn to either transmute that shit or just block that shit and just get away from that type of energy altogether.
Facts. And having emotional intelligence, I help you focus that energy. Like you were saying, transmute it. You can focus that energy into something creative or something positive anyway.
Yeah, I definitely transmute a lot of that. That's why I steady wear black, because black represents protection. And, I know that I've been through enough to know that I can take the energy that you're projecting onto me and transmute it into something better. Because, that's the best thing about learning how to alchemize that type of, using your emotions to gain the things that you need to bring life to. It's like you have to cry to release. You have to feel the anger to know why you're angry, to understand why you're angry. So every emotion that comes up is learning how to know yourself and regulate and balance the things that need to be worked on. And that's why it's like when you do get tested and you feel like you failed the test, you never fail. You just get one step closer to knowing what things that you need to fix or things that you need to work on within yourself.
It brings a self-awareness.
Yes.
Having emotional intelligence definitely brings a self-awareness to it.
Yep. See, that's why it's like everything that goes into place. That's why you have to know that emotional intelligence goes hand in hand with self awareness, learning how to not victimize yourself, and just all around just having the balance to put all those things into one to make better decisions.
All right. It's just, you know, it just helps you see the error in your own ways with that, you know what I'm saying? And you'll learn from that and not do those, you know what I'm saying? You work on yourself and not do those same things again that hinder you or put you in worse situations than what you already are. Because you're going to have obstacles and things that happen. But approaching them with an emotional intelligence instead of approaching them emotionally and reacting, you'll come out better for it. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll learn what you need to learn, and you'll recognize certain things that may have happened before. Because life is a cycle. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And situations just reappear just in different forms. Yeah. And you'll see the signs, you'll recognize them, and you'll be able to respond accordingly instead of reacting emotionally like you used to and making the matters worse.
You'll be like, oh, I've seen this before. I feel this. I recognize this energy. And, once you feel those energies and emotions, once those stress and those, all the things that your body, pushes out and allows you to, makes you feel when you get around certain people or certain places, you know how to respond based off a previous energy that is kind of similar to that. So it's like, dang, I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy that I'm self-aware to the point where I can see and feel what I need to, isolate myself from. It's like I'm self-aware enough to know how to respond now when it comes to altercations or someone trying to project what they want onto me. And it's like, now this is why it's important to isolate yourself and see what you need to see, feel what you need to feel, because if you don't isolate yourself, you won't be able to detach, and not just isolate. I mean by like detach yourself, isolate, detach, and kind of get in the place where only you can, see you for a moment. Like, put yourself in a place where only you can enjoy your energy so that you can see yourself for who you are. Feel what your body's trying to tell you, and just, get to a place where you can finally see yourself for who you really are. It's like being naked in your own skin without no one looking, and finally seeing yourself for who you really are, because you're no longer being influenced by no other energy.
Right. And after doing that for a while, getting in touch with your own emotions, it'll actually help you empathize with other people even more. You'll be able to understand something they may be going through because you sat and analyzed your own emotions when you went through a similar situation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you can have a better and deeper understanding to why someone may feel the way they feel, because you can resonate with that feeling, that emotion, that, and you can also resonate with what it comes to when someone isn't able to regulate that emotion, because having the lack of emotional intelligence or emotional balance, it can come out like a volcano eruption. Right. It can come out in any kind of way. And I'm speaking from my own experience, because I still learn, me too, I still learned how to balance my emotions. I'm still learning how to check myself. I'm still learning how to regulate and find my own triggers, because no one's perfect. And it's a constant learning. It's a constant learning cycle. As you get older, you learn the things that your body is trying to tell you. You learn how to feel what you need to feel. You learn how to understand where you need to understand, and you move forward. And it's all about experiencing where you experience so that you can learn how to evolve and elevate and
And
get to the place that of that mental peace and
right, my
clarity.
bad. Not to cut you off.
No, you're all
And
right.
having that allows you to it makes you it just makes you a better person. And
Yes.
it leads to better relationships with other people because you're more in tune now. Like because you've analyzed your own emotions, you now can empathize with that person and understand how they're feeling, and then you can you know what I'm saying, it helps you communicate that, you know what I'm saying, and it just, if both of you have it, there's no telling where you can go.
It's the self accountability. It's when two people are in a room, two people are say two people are in a relationship, and one has emotional intelligence and the other one lacks emotional intelligence, but is still learning and experience. And the one who has emotional intelligence has a better understanding on how to care for the one who doesn't because they have a better understanding on why they are why they are still learning how to still learning their triggers, still learning how to heal those parts. And being in a partnership comes with those things that
Right.
requires someone to help you, understand that you are not your problems. You are not you are not how you feel. You just feel what you feel, and you need to learn how to regulate and treat those emotional wounds that are placed in there for those triggers to come up for you to react that way.
Yeah, cause
And when you have those things, that's what I'm saying. You need to have a right type of person to be around for you
right,
to, you know,
legitimate,
regulate that. And
and it'll also help you, like, you'll have the emotions, feel them, and then set the emotions aside and make a logical and reasonable decision, and or apply the course of action to solve a situation,
yeah,
solve a problem instead of creating new problems.
yeah, because emotions will, if you react emotionally, it can get you in a lot more trouble than it could. And it's like, I know it's like, I'll use love for an example. It's like being in a relationship and then finding out that your partner did you dirty and you go and you do the total, you try to do the same thing they do to you and you think that's going to make you feel better, but really it's just going to put you on their level.
Right.
And then you're both going to be questioning yourself because
Yeah.
it's
Now
like,
neither one of you trust each other. Like,
right,
there's no trust. It's out the window.
it's
Nothing.
already, the relationship is already
Yeah, it's
over.
over. You both side eyeing each other.
You can never really be in a relationship because you know that relationship has already been sabotaged from the beginning because it was built off a false foundation in the first place. So it's like you got to realize that once the hand has already been shown and dealt with, you can't go and try to play the same cards and get a different result. It's
Right.
going to give you the same result. So it's like that builds up the emotional intelligence to recognize those feelings and those things that come up in those patterns that you seem to come across. You're like, okay, there's something that I'm lacking in that I'm not aware of, but that's where it comes to you realizing it at that moment where you come into an alignment with yourself and you see, okay, this is where I lack and this is where I need to work on. So it's like you constantly are learning yourself. You
Right.
constantly learn how to regulate and become emotionally intelligent. It's just right now at this moment by you even knowing how to set aside your emotion and see where this emotion is coming up, what you would rather do, what you want to do, but what you would what you would rather do, but what you're going to do, because what you would rather do may not be the right choice, but what you're going to do is going to be the better choice to get
Right.
you in a better position than what you would rather do. Because we all know we're not perfect. We would rather slap someone versus walk away from the situation because we feel that person deserved that slap, that backhand slap. But for me being the wanting to stay in this alignment, because I get I get my blessings by staying away from things and not doing things that you know
that
it's not,
don't.
if you're not coming at me, if you're not hitting me, I'm not hitting you. We're not even going there. I'm not even going to waste my energy on you unless I have to protect myself. That's when that's a different story. But
Yeah.
as far as me going after a situation just because I want to prove a point, I want to make you feel, that's not my job.
Legitimate.
My job was to be the test in your life that you failed or passed or failed and move on. But I might fail my own test by trying to keep trying to retake the test because I want to, prove a point or something, or
Yeah.
I
You
want to. I'm
feel
stuck.
you got a point to prove, or
Right. I'm not trying to do that anymore. So it's like I'm gonna just take the test, pass or fail, and move on to the next chapter that I need to do.
yeah, you got something on your chest you want to get off. You
Right. And that's not my place anymore. It's like you showed who you are, and now I need to work on what I need to work on so I won't feel that I need to go back. It's like me going backwards is pointless. If the game is to go forward, what do I look like going backwards?
right.
That backwards is
It's
what it's.
and it's not to me. It's not even so much backwards. It's going down. It's like you know what I'm saying. Nah, I'm gonna
That's
stay
all
up.
right.
You know what I mean. I'm gonna stay up. You know what I'm saying. I'm not even gonna get down on your level. I'm not gonna
And
go
trust and
there because it's
believe,
not gonna benefit me. It's not
I may
gonna
fall
lift me.
down. Right. It's not going to lift you.
You know what I'm
Sorry.
saying. But even if I fall down, I'm gonna get up because
Exactly.
I don't want to be down there. You
I ain't
know what
going
I
to
mean.
stay down there. I'll tell you. And
I'm gonna
if I.
stay up. You know what I'm saying. I don't care how many times I fall. I'm getting up.
Yeah, because a lot of people fall. We may fall down, but I'm not falling down the hill. I may fall up while I'm falling down. I'm going up, but I slip. I might trip, but I'm still constantly moving forward. I'm learning how to make a better step than the last step.
Right.
It's like that's what it comes with anything. Like that's why I said emotional intelligence comes with everything. It all comes in a package deal. It comes with awareness, and it comes with intuition. It comes with detachment. It comes with all the things that need to be done in order for you to gain this awareness of self, so that you know how to respond to things more than react. You're no longer emotionally reacting. You're letting you feel your emotions, and then you're feeling them, and then you're setting them to the aside where you can allow them to process and release and bring in that logical mindset so you can think
Right.
things clearly, because you no longer bottle that emotion up. You let that emotion come. You dealt with it, and
Because take a different look at emotions and really look at it. Like emotions run wild. Your emotions shift every couple seconds, every few minutes. Your emotions shift all day throughout the day. So imagine if you just made decisions based on emotions. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're
like
making
every little emotion.
every little emotion. You making wild decisions all day long. You just doing a bunch of random bullshit. It's no
Oh my god! And you think about them intrusive thoughts, like
right. You know what I'm
kick
saying?
him down the stairs.
Yeah, I
Like
mean, you're
if
gonna
you,
be in situation after situation after situation, like because you're making all your decisions based on your emotions, how you feel. When that's not constant, because you don't feel the same way. You don't feel the same way 5 minutes ago than you feel right now. Like you feel totally different right now than you felt 5 minutes ago. Like it's crazy, but that's how it be.
yeah, when you get around certain people and you realize it's like, hold on, are you mad? Are you mad? Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it, but I know that if I can feel it, and I know that that energy is within you, I'm going to make sure I, set myself up to know how to respond, because you know either I'm going to be like, okay, I understand how this person could react like this, and I could react back, or I could allow them to feel how they feel and move on accordingly around that, so I won't have to deal with that. Because if I'm not even going to put myself in the situation, because we trust ourselves enough to know that our emotional intelligence is bringing awareness to your feelings and feeling, what's that feeling? I know it's not me, because I know I'm happy. I know I feel good.
Right.
I feel something coming. It's a shift. It's a shift change in the room. Let me make sure I adjust myself right enough to know that there could be triggers trying to come around that trying to knock me off my square, but I'm aware of there's other energies that may come and go. So that's where you readjust and because something can come up and make you react, and you don't want to react off of that, that
Legitimate.
shift change that just came in the room. So, you know, that's why I'm like, and when actions speak louder than words, you know, emotions play a big part in how you're going to respond.
Because when you're responding emotionally, when you're responding emotionally, it's with the absence of logic and reason, and you end up dismissing facts because of how you feel.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're literally dismiss facts about the situation
Like that girl.
because it doesn't coincide with how you feel
Oh my
about
goodness.
it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that is so real to the point where that girl that went viral, where she took her that these people that are going viral dumping people's ashes because they're mad at the person. Like,
yeah,
you
that shit is
dumping
outrageous.
mothers,
You disrespecting the
like
dead.
you
Like,
can you causing generational curses on not only your kids but your kids' kids. Like, you causing, from your lack of knowledge and your lack of knowing and emotional intelligence all together. If you lack all these things, you will put yourself in a worse position than you are. Like, you won't only just learn, you go through lessons. Your children are going to go through lessons, because
yeah, that's a
the
lot of
fact that
karma.
that
Like,
karmic debt will be built up so high, it's like you don't even have no sympathy for the person who caused the action. You have sympathy for those who come after, because they had no clue what was the reasoning for their life turning out to be the way it was. And it goes back to that movie we used to watch on Disney Channel, Holes. Like,
oh yeah,
how
that
his
was my
family,
shit too.
Stanley, had messed with the wrong grandma, and she basically was like, well, you're gonna have to do something about that. You owe me a pig, you owe me this, and you ain't, well, go ahead and carry up my ancestors, carry somebody up that hill, and save them. And it wasn't her, it was her bloodline,
Right.
generations after generation. And he had generational wealth waiting for him. They cast out, they left him out. He was homeless. He got put in a camp. Everybody thought he was dumb. He was really smart, actually, and he didn't tolerate that bullshit, so he left. He had to go through a lot of fucked up shit for him to have that emotional intelligence, to
Right.
be able to make sure to let people talk, to let people think how they want to think, to let people do how they want to do, because you lack the intelligence enough to know that these things are only what they feel, and they are not facts. They are only how they feel. They are opinions.
Right.
You only make them a fact if you allow their opinions of them to define you. And he didn't allow that. He was still. They called him zero because they zeroed him out all together. But little did they know, the little guy that they made fun of, was the wealthiest one out of them all.
Right. Legitimate. And shout out Shia LaBeouf. That was a
Shout
great
out,
movie.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One of my all time favorites.
And of course, Zero. I wish I knew his name, because he was the main one that really made it too. Because if it won't for him, it's Charlotte.
Yeah.
So, but that goes back to knowing. It's like life will teach you how to balance out your emotions, or they'll teach you how to
Or it's gonna keep
or it's
whooping
gonna
your
keep you
ass.
whooping your ass until you figure out a way too. So,
Yeah.
and I know I don't want no more. I don't want to keep getting my ass whipped just because I refuse to acknowledge my emotions, and I refuse to be in my ego and be like I'm right all the time,
Yeah. Like,
when I know I'm wrong. And I can be wrong sometimes, because I know I ain't always right. Sometimes my actions may be wrong in someone's eyes, and they may be right, but at the same time, we're both learning. So
facts.
that comes with learning how to be, once again, emotionally intelligent.
Yeah. You just
So,
gotta be willing to learn, to really look at yourself and take accountability for your shit. You know what I mean? And that'll lead to more self awareness and some emotional intelligence at the same time. They go hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have one without the other.
that's what I was saying about the bundle deal. gotta have a bundle deal.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other. It's
Like,
about, and it's like good and evil. You can't learn good without evil. You can't learn evil without good.
yeah,
They
and
both
having
have to
no balance
coexist.
hinder your growth.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll stunt you for real. As
Yep.
a person, as a human being, you won't evolve. You'll be stuck in your ways, as
But trust and
the
believe,
old folks say, stuck in your ways and shit.
having emotional intelligence is also being aware that you may fuck up sometimes, and
Yeah,
you got to catch yourself and put yourself back where you need to put, back
yeah, and
in
it'll keep you
alignment.
from being so hard on yourself when you do fuck up, because you're
Yeah,
gonna fuck up. It's
yeah.
how you learn, but it'll affect your mindset. You approach you'll see the L as a lesson rather
Mm-hmm.
than a loss.
Yeah, I think being more optimistic about life is better. Is a better way to live, anyways, instead of being negative. Because where does negativity get you? More negative.
More negative.
So I
You
feel
know, you learn
like
that in
I,
what basic math.
negative plus negative equals more negative. Okay, we're not doing that. How about the negative? I'm gonna be positive because the negative can come to me, and I'm gonna take that negativity and
Turn it to a positive.
it turned into a positive. Let me tell you something. That's just my best. That's my specialty. And a lot of people feel like I could be the villain in your story, and I don't mind being the villain because my positive could be a negative in your life. So it's like my positive was cutting you off because you were a negative in my life. So therefore, I cut the negativity out and got more positive, and you didn't realize you were the negativity in my life. So you felt like, I brought negativity by cutting you out, but really you were already just dwelling in your own negativity, and it just got worse because now you no longer have my positive energy to drain me. So now you have to stick with your own negativity and learn how to work through that yourself.
And it's funny you say that because it's like, that's the reason we kind of adopt some people into our lives.
Yes,
It's
that is.
because we be thinking that our positive energy or our positive outlook on certain things will rub off on them and lift them up,
Yeah.
lift their spirits, change. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
really they just want to use you because that's all they don't see you as for who you are. They see you as what you could do for them, like
yeah, and
how
it
you make
really
them feel.
is draining you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And at first you may not see it because it's something about that person, or you know what I'm saying, that you
Yeah.
like or you're infatuated with or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? That's blinding you to what's actually going on, is that they're draining you of your
Hmm.
positivity. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
if you allow
remaining,
them.
yeah, and them remaining the negative entity that they are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And that's why it's good to you for you to, if you have to be around someone like that, it's always good to have protection over
right,
yourself and to know those things and recognize when you do feel drained when you come around certain people, because when you don't recognize it, you realize like, okay, I'm I'm here for you, not you for me, because both of us, one of us, we're not equally giving in this situation. Because if I'm drained, then we're not here filling each other's cup. You're just taking from me
right,
versus me, and versus the equal exchange. So therefore, it's like when you see that, it's like, okay, now I'm recognizing that, and you have to limit your time around those type of people, because if they're not aware of themselves, you are aware. That's when you have to have that. You know where to set your boundaries. You know where to come and go as you speak, because it's like being around somebody at work. You got to work with somebody like that, or you got to have a family member like that, or it's
yeah,
a
like,
friend like that. It's like you got to learn how to limit your time and set your boundaries up with that certain person. So
right,
you know, but that's all I wanted to say about that. So having emotional intelligence is a life experience altogether. You
yeah,
learn, you live, and you learn, and you figure out along the way.
and to help you grow as a human.
Yep, and it also help you learn how to process. Learning when you learn how to start working to do your shadow work and processing the trauma that you went to and doing the inner child work, and you actually go within, you see yourself as a child, and you see what you had to go through and why you experienced those things. You don't know why, but you experience those things that caused you to, you know, that emotionally affected you on how you communicate getting as you got older. And it's like now that we're older and we're recognizing it, we come and we're bringing awareness to it. It's like now you can go back to those moments and be the commentary person in your life at that time when it happened, and basically, see it from a different perspective and kind of heal it from the outside looking in, and basically talking to yourself in a way to go, okay, I remember why, now I see why I feel the way I feel because of this situation that happened to me that allowed that kind of affected my way of communicating um, emotionally with this situation.
Right.
So it's like once you see that and you connect the dots and you actually go in and do the operation on yourself, it's like now I can heal that wound, and I can work on those triggers, and and I become more emotionally aware of how that affects me or how this affects me, and I can
Yeah, and then when you see those patterns or certain things that led up to that type of situation before, you'll recognize them now, and you won't react the same way you did. You'll respond accordingly.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you'll be able to recognize it now. You know what I mean? Instead of, it just hitting you and you going through the cycle again. You're reacting the same way you did previously.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
just making matters worse.
And let me tell you, I've been tested through friends, family, and everything in the world to that got me to where I'm at today. And
And they're gonna keep coming.
yeah, and
Keep coming. They don't stop.
I definitely give myself a pat on the back because I have been through situations in growing up that would have had people that a lot of people wouldn't have been able to deal with emotionally. And I sometimes look at myself and be like, how was I able to handle this in a way that I did? Because I've heard stories of people who emotionally reacted and have committed, the worst kind of sins, I would say, to do to someone versus because of how they treated them in their past. And I'm just grateful that I didn't allow my emotions to cause me to react in ways based off how someone else was feeling and how their treatment was towards me.
Yeah, see,
And
that's why all these young black guys, black kids, crash out every day. That's why they're killing each other. They have no emotional intelligence. They just react emotionally
yeah, and
to every situation, and
yeah,
that leads to more and more bodies. You know what
and
I'm
no
saying?
one's
Which is
teaching
crazy.
them what their feelings are feeling. They don't know how to regulate. They don't know how to feel what they're feeling, and what they're feeling is unknown because they like I said, they don't know what it is that they're feeling. They just react. And if you're hurting and you don't know how to fix it, you're just gonna keep running around screaming in pain until you figure out how to fix it. But if you are hurting and you automatically know how to fix it, you will tend to it immediately because you know where that pain is. You recognize, you're like, oh, I know what this is. I'm going to go ahead and work on it. But if you're hurting, you don't know what it is, you're going to be out here screaming, out of control, reacting because you feel bad, you're hurting, you don't know what to do. And that's just how it is with your emotions. If you are feeling it, you don't know how to feel it, you don't know how to react, you don't know how to let it out. You're reacting out of someone triggered you, made you mad. Now you want to hit them because
Right.
last night so and so did this to you, and you don't know how to feel. You didn't process that. You just balled it up. Now you let this person bring it out of you. So it's like that's why it's important to learn how to feel what you feel at that moment, and process it. Don't hold it in because it hold it in, it not only hurts you. Not only harms you, when you communicate with other people, it hurts your body too.
Right.
You're just putting more stress on your body, and causing more
Stress, tension, and
headaches,
all types of shit.
diseases, diseases in your body. So it's like I'm learning this along the way, and I've learned a lot growing up in the past 3 years. I've been learning a lot about myself and how to regulate, and who I used to deal with, the friends, the family, people I no longer deal with now, because I learned who was for me and who wasn't for me through emotionally, knowing how I felt when I felt, and actually going back to how I felt in certain times when I didn't allow myself to feel it. So now that I'm growing up, but outgrowing those habits and things that I used to do, I can sit back and thank myself that I experienced those things so that I can and I do have what I have today. So
Right. And having emotional intelligence, you have stopped letting other outside influences dictate how you live and how you move. And you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people move according to what they think other people think is cool or the way to do things.
yeah, like what
What's
would be
acceptable.
accepted and
Yeah, you know what I'm
what
saying?
yeah, and a lot of people are afraid of judgment, and because judgment is a scary thing for you to have to deal with if you're not confident within yourself,
Right. And
and
having emotional intelligence and that self awareness will
gives you the
give you that
confidence.
confidence to be you, to be who you are. And you won't worry about
Yeah,
outside influence or
because
others' validation because
yeah,
you would validate you. You
yeah,
know what I'm
you
saying?
don't need that outside source, those other people to validate you, because that's where you come into alignment with yourself. You're like, yep, I don't need you, never did need you. It's nice to know, but if I didn't have myself to validate, I wouldn't be me. I
Right.
would be
You
you,
be
wouldn't
somebody
me?
else. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
So
You validate you.
yes.
You know what I mean? And that comes with emotional intelligence because you're getting more in tune with yourself. You're being aware of your triggers, of
Oh
what causes you to move a certain way because it makes you
yeah.
feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And once you're aware of that, you can recognize those triggers. You can work on those things so they don't trigger you anymore. And you're not moving based on that anymore. You've switched over to the logical and reason side of things. Like, no, let me move in a better way. Let me make the better decision to put me in a better position.
Let me have self confidence. I have integrity. I have all the things that I need to, get me and keep me and help me balance out. Because what's so crazy with you saying that was a lot of people, like, it's like you have a gift and you have enough confidence and security in yourself to stand out to the point where someone wants to change you and all they have to do is offer you something that determines what you would be willing to sacrifice.
All
Would you
right.
be willing to allow someone else to narrate your story by stealing the very thing that you had to get there and turning it into their own power? Or would you stand in your power and get it on your own and do it the right way? And that's where you have the emotional intelligence to know that I don't need the money. I don't need that type of offer to get where I'm going to get. I'm going to get where I'm going to get, authentically. I'm
All
going to
right.
get it offered. I won't have to sacrifice nothing because all of me and what I'm doing is enough. And that's where,
Legitimate.
that's where it's like being you is the most important thing. And a lot of us are being guided by a lot of phonies because you grew up you like the person in the beginning, but as along the way you see them change, and even themselves are like changing because now they're being forced to be under the hands of someone else's narrative. So it's like always be true to you and be authentic from the beginning to the end, because
Facts.
you
And
know
don't misunderstand. Change is always a good thing,
yes.
but it's changing for the right reasons. When you change who you are, be because of you. Like let that be a choice you made because of you, not because of outside influence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you're seeking validation from others. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Let
because
that
you
be because it's something you chose
and it,
after getting in tune with yourself and learning more about yourself and what it is that you want and what you need to maintain your peace and your quality of life. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know what I'm saying? That's good change. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Bad change is when changing from others because somebody else wants you to change, or this is acceptable over here, but that's not you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's going to create a constant conflict within yourself because you're pretending to be something that you're not.
There goes that mask.
Legitimate. You know what I'm saying?
Now you're unhappy. Now you're like Britney Spears, and she's so lucky she's the star, but she cry because she's lonely. She sacrificed her happiness for the money, the fortune, and the fame. But at the same time, it's like I authentically love to dance and sing, but I allowed someone else to create a narrative and control my life. And it's like, and it's sad because even if she didn't allow, it's like she didn't have the proper caretakers to keep her, to allow her to express herself and be herself. Instead, she
Right.
had the wrong caretaker that, had
Or
control over her.
or rather let her know that it was okay to be herself.
Right, exactly. And being yourself may have been a detriment to their, maybe
Of
they didn't,
course, it wasn't their
it
part of
wasn't
their
their
agenda.
plan. And that's where you have to stand your ground. That's a prime example. What is it that you want? I don't care who the person is. It's up to you to stand your ground and take on and be who you need to do, because you're the only one living in your body. You are the only person that is controlling yourself.
Right.
And once you allow someone else to control your narrative and control your own way, it's like that's where it comes to idolizing. Like you idolize someone over yourself, and that's where you messed up because you gave them the power to make you feel less of what you already have labeled yourself as.
All right.
You
And
put
where
that person over you.
and wherever you end up, whatever type of situations you encounter, you got to realize that you are going to be you no matter what. Like, no matter what situation or person, you know what I'm saying, you come up against, you always bring you. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
why not be in control of you instead of letting these situations and these other people be in control of you? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like,
At the end of the day, I don't want to have to give no one my power.
right.
And that's the end. That's the whole basic topic is emotional intelligence is your power. And when you have your power all together, you know how to handle situations better. You know how to respond. You don't react. You know how to, allow people to be themselves and move accordingly. And that was what this whole, discussion is about, is just learning how to be you, be true to you, and just, life comes with um, life is a journey, and it comes with lessons and blessings.
Facts.
So it's important for us to learn how to, learn that growth. It comes with growth. Life comes with a lot of lessons and growth. So,
Legitimate. It's all about your mindset when you approach it.
yeah.
Positive mindset allows you to see the bigger picture, everything.
And
You know
at
what I'm
the end
saying?
of the day, emotionally, I having emotional intelligence is a lifelong thing, and to have it now at whatever age you're at, just have it all together, it's just a win. And keep growing, and to get, be well aware of everything that you're going to be experiencing in this, in your life. So it's like,
Legitimate.
do you, be you, and just be
As
true.
always, you know what I'm saying? She gonna keep it spiritual, keep it lyrical, be you, be cool how you be cool.